The events of this story revolve around a young man named Camel, who is 26 years old. Camel has a younger brother named Mar, who is 10 years old. Camel lives in his own apartment away from his parents due to his work conditions. In fact, this is not the only reason that made Camel. He lives alone, but there is another reason. Camel's parents are always in a state of quarrel. Although this quarrel does not last long, he decided to move away and live alone. During the previous period, tension increased in Camel's parents' house, which made Camel take his younger brother Mar to live with him. Mar stayed with Camel for a long time, and Mar felt that his life with his brother would be better for him. Camel loved his brother very much and provided him with all means of comfort. The nature of Camel's work allowed him to take care of his brother. Camel worked as an engineer in a programming company. Although Camel's work did not force him to go somewhere, he worked permanently at home. The company where Camel works requires all employees to come to the company at the end of the month in order to evaluate the work that was done during the entire month. Camel hated the day he would go to the company, but he had no choice, even though Mar is 10 years old. However, Camel did not want to leave his brother alone, especially since he might feel afraid and leave the house and go out. Camel began looking for an office that would provide babysitters. Camel found a specific office that was close to the house and called him. It was agreed between the office and Camel to send a babysitter next Wednesday so that he could finish all of his work and return home again. On that day, she actually showed up. The babysitter seemed to be very kind and friendly. Camel felt comfortable with her and decided to leave his brother with her until he returned. Camel had prepared everything in advance for his brother, such as the food he liked to eat and the toys he would play with, and so on. Camel bid farewell to his brother and left the babysitter with him and went to company. That day was long and arduous for Camel. The meeting began at 10 o'clock and ended at approximately 6 o'clock. Camel returned to his home and was feeling very tired. Camel opened the door to the apartment and noticed something suspicious. All the lights in the apartment were off, as if the house was empty and no one was in it. Camel ran quickly looking for his brother. Camel found his brother in his room where he was listening to music. Camel said, "Are you okay, brother? Where's the babysitter? Why are all the lights off?" Mar said, "I had been sitting in my room all day and the babysitter was checking on me every hour and was bringing me fresh juice, but for about 3 hours I had not heard from her." Mar continued his speech, "I decided to go to the hall to see her, but I did not find her, as if she had disappeared, so I decided to return to my room. Especially since your return date is approaching." Camel felt very angry and called that office and told him what had happened. The office apologized profusely for what had happened and returned Camel's money. After that, Camel prepared some food for him and Mar. Camel ate the food with his brother and Mar went to sleep. Camel was feeling sleepy, but there was something required of him. Work, so Camel decided to work a little before going to sleep. While Camel was working, he heard his brother's voice calling for him. Camel went to his brother to see what was wrong with him. Mar said, "I heard a voice in your room, perhaps it was a thief." Camel felt afraid for his brother, so he decided to take his brother and go to the car below. Camel called the police. While Camel was talking to the policeman on the phone, he saw the babysitter leaving the house. The babysitter got into a car and rushed to escape. The policeman arrived and Camel told them everything. The policeman went to the babysitter's house where they were able to obtain the address from the office that sent it to Camel. Camel eventually discovered that the babysitter was suffering from a psychological illness and that she was planning to make Camel sleep. He and his brother, and then she will kill them and steal all the contents of the house and escape, but unfortunately for Camel, the office soon hired this girl, whose features seemed kind and innocent. In the end, Camel thanked the police very much, and thanked God that he or his brother were not exposed to any harm, and Camel then decided taking his brother with him to his workplace when he goes there. Sarah had just started her new job as a nanny for a wealthy family in a large mansion nestled deep within the countryside. Everything seemed perfect at first: lovely children, a beautiful home, and generous pay. However, as the days passed, Sarah began to notice strange occurrences around the house. Late at night, she would hear faint whispers echoing through the empty corridors, despite being alone. Doors would creak open on their own, and toys would inexplicably move from one room to another. At first, Sarah dismissed these odd happenings as figments of her imagination, but soon they became too frequent to ignore. One stormy night, while putting the children to bed, Sarah caught a glimpse of a shadowy figure lurking in the hallway. She brushed it off as a trick of the lightning until she felt a chilling presence behind her. Turning around, she saw a ghastly figure, a woman with hollow eyes and a twisted grin, her ghostly form shimmering in the darkness. Terrified, Sarah tried to flee, but the doors slammed shut, trapping her inside with the malevolent entity. The children's laughter turned into eerie cries, and Sarah realized she was caught in a nightmare. Desperate to escape, she stumbled upon an old journal hidden in the attic, detailing the tragic tale of the family's former nanny who died under mysterious circumstances. The journal revealed that the nanny's spirit haunted the mansion, seeking vengeance for her untimely demise. Sarah realized she was not just a nanny but a pawn in the ghostly nanny's sinister game. With every passing night, the entity grew stronger, feeding off the fear of those who dared to care for the children. In a desperate bid for survival, Sarah unearthed ancient rituals to banish the vengeful spirit. Armed with newfound knowledge, she confronted the ghostly nanny in a harrowing battle between the living and the dead. In the end, Sarah emerged victorious, but the horrors she witnessed would haunt her forever. She left the mansion behind, vowing never to return, knowing that some nightmares never truly end. As Sarah left the mansion behind, she couldn't shake the feeling of dread that lingered in her bones. The events of that night haunted her dreams, and the memories of the ghostly nanny's sinister presence followed her like a shadow. Despite her best efforts to move on, Sarah found herself drawn back to the mansion, compelled by an unexplainable force. She knew she had to confront the dark secrets buried within its walls, no matter the cost. Returning to the mansion under the guise of closure, Sarah delved deeper into its murky past, uncovering long-forgotten truths and buried lies. With each revelation, the veil between the living and the dead grew thinner, and Sarah realized that the mansion held more than just the ghostly nanny's spirit. It held the key to a darker, more sinister force that lurked in the shadows. As she unraveled the mysteries of the mansion, Sarah discovered that the family she once served was entangled in a web of deception and malevolence. Dark rituals and forbidden pacts had been forged within its walls, binding the fate of the living to the whims of the supernatural. Determined to break the cycle of despair and free the souls trapped within, Sarah embarked on a perilous journey into the heart of darkness. Along the way, she encountered allies and adversaries alike, each holding a piece of the puzzle that would ultimately unravel the mansion's secrets. In a final showdown against the forces of evil, Sarah faced the true mastermind behind the mansion's curse, a malevolent entity that thrived on pain and suffering, feeding on the despair of those it ensnared. Armed with courage and determination, Sarah confronted the entity head-on, risking everything to banish it from the mortal realm once and for all. In a blinding flash of light, the darkness receded, and peace was restored to the mansion at long last. As Sarah stepped out into the light, she knew that her journey was far from over. The scars of her ordeal would always remain, a reminder of the horrors she had witnessed and the battles she had fought. But as she looked to the future, Sarah found solace in the knowledge that she had conquered her fears and emerged victorious against the darkness that threatened to consume her. And though the memories of the mansion would linger forever, she walked away stronger, wiser, and ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. In the aftermath of her harrowing ordeal, Sarah's life took on a new sense of purpose. The experiences she endured within the haunted mansion had changed her in ways she could never have imagined. Haunted by the memories of the supernatural forces she had encountered, Sarah dedicated herself to helping others plagued by similar terrors. She became a paranormal investigator, traveling far and wide to unravel the mysteries of the supernatural world and bring closure to those tormented by malevolent spirits. With each case she took on, Sarah faced new challenges and unearthed ancient secrets hidden beneath the surface of reality. She delved into forbidden texts, consulted with experts in occult lore, and honed her skills in the arcane arts, determined to uncover the truth no matter the cost. Along the way, Sarah encountered a diverse array of characters: fellow investigators, skeptics turned believers, and even those who had fallen under the sway of dark forces. Each encounter tested her resolve and pushed her to the brink, but through sheer determination and unwavering courage, she emerged triumphant time and time again. Yet, despite her successes, Sarah knew that the world of the supernatural was vast and infinitely complex. For every mystery she solved, a dozen more emerged in its wake, each more enigmatic than the last. But as she stood on the threshold between the ordinary and the extraordinary, Sarah embraced her role as a guardian against the forces of darkness, a beacon of hope in a world haunted by shadows. And though the journey ahead was fraught with peril and uncertainty, Sarah faced it with a steely resolve and an unshakable faith in the power of light to conquer even the deepest darkness. For in the end, she knew that no matter how formidable the challenge, she would always be ready to confront the unknown, armed with courage, determination, and the unwavering belief that even in the darkest of nights, the light of truth would shine through. In the heart of the English countryside stood a grand mansion, its towering spires reaching towards the heavens like fingers clawing at the sky. For generations, the estate had been home to the wealthy Pembroke family, but as time passed, whispers of tragedy and despair began to echo within its walls. It was to this estate that Emily, a young and eager nanny, arrived one crisp autumn morning. Drawn by the promise of adventure and the allure of the unknown, she had answered the Pembrokes' call for a caregiver for their two young children, Edward and Charlotte. At first, everything seemed idyllic. The children were sweet and well-behaved, and the mansion itself exuded an air of faded grandeur. But beneath the surface lay a darkness that Emily could not ignore, a sense of foreboding that hung heavy in the air like a shroud. As the days turned to weeks, strange occurrences began to unfold. Objects would vanish without a trace, only to reappear in the most unexpected places. Whispers drifted through the halls at night, their origins shrouded in mystery. And the children, once full of laughter and light, grew distant and withdrawn, their innocent smiles replaced by haunted stares. Determined to uncover the truth, Emily delved into the mansion's history, unearthing tales of tragedy and loss that stretched back centuries. She learned of a curse that had plagued the Pembroke family for generations, a curse born of jealousy and betrayal, fueled by the darkest desires of the human heart. But it was not until she stumbled upon the diary of the children's former nanny that the pieces of the puzzle began to fall into place. In its weathered pages, she discovered the chilling truth, a truth that threatened to consume her very soul. According to the diary, the mansion was haunted by the vengeful spirit of Lady Genevieve Pembroke, a woman scorned in life and cursed to wander the halls in death. Consumed by rage and bitterness, she sought retribution against those who had wronged her, sparing neither the living nor the dead in her quest for vengeance. Terrified yet undeterred, Emily resolved to confront the ghostly apparition head-on, armed with nothing but her wits and an unshakable resolve. But as she delved deeper into the shadows, she soon realized that the true enemy lay not in the darkness that surrounded her, but within the depths of her own heart. For in her quest for truth, Emily had unwittingly awakened forces beyond her control, forces that threatened to consume her from within, twisting her mind and soul until she could no longer distinguish friend from foe. As the line between reality and nightmare blurred, Emily found herself locked in a battle for survival against an enemy she could not hope to defeat. But with the help of unlikely allies and the power of love and redemption, she discovered the strength to face her demons and emerge victorious against the darkness that threatened to engulf her. And though the scars of her ordeal would linger long after she had left the mansion behind, Emily knew that she had been forever changed by the experience. For in the crucible of adversity, she had discovered the true meaning of courage, the courage to confront the shadows that lurked within and emerge triumphant in the light of a new day. And as she gazed out upon the horizon, her heart filled with hope and possibility, Emily knew that no matter what trials lay ahead, she would face them with the same unwavering resolve that had carried her through the darkest of nights. For in the end, it was not the darkness that defined her, but the light that burned bright within her soul, a light that would guide her through even the most perilous of journeys, illuminating the path to a future filled with promise and possibility. And so, with head held high and heart ablaze with determination, Emily set forth into the unknown, ready to embrace whatever destiny awaited her on the other side. As Emily ventured deeper into the mysteries of the Pembroke mansion, she found herself ensnared in a labyrinth of secrets and deception. Each revelation unearthed new layers of intrigue, weaving a tapestry of darkness that threatened to consume her whole. Haunted by Lady Genevieve's vengeful spirit, Emily sought solace in the companionship of Edward and Charlotte, the innocent children whose lives hung in the balance. But even they could not shield her from the horrors that lurked within the mansion's shadowed halls. As night descended upon the estate, Emily's dreams were plagued by visions of a bygone era of whispered promises and broken oaths, of love betrayed and lives cut short. She saw Lady Genevieve's tortured soul trapped in a never-ending cycle of despair, condemned to wander the earth until her thirst for vengeance was sated. Determined to break the curse that bound the mansion in its icy grip, Emily embarked on a perilous journey into the heart of darkness. Guided by the flickering light of hope, she delved into forbidden rituals and arcane rites, seeking the key to Lady Genevieve's redemption. But the path to salvation was fraught with peril, and at every turn, Emily faced new challenges that tested her courage and resolve. She encountered spectral apparitions and malevolent entities, each more sinister than the last, their twisted forms a chilling reminder of the power that lurked within the shadows. Yet, despite the dangers that lurked around every corner, Emily pressed on, driven by a determination to free the souls trapped within the mansion's cursed embrace. With each step she took, she drew closer to the truth, unraveling the mysteries of the past and unearthing long-buried secrets that threatened to tear the fabric of reality asunder. And as she delved deeper into the darkness, Emily discovered that the true power of the mansion lay not in its haunted corridors or crumbling walls, but in the bonds of love and friendship that united those who dared to defy its malevolent influence. With the help of Edward and Charlotte, Emily forged an unbreakable alliance, one forged in the fires of adversity and tempered by the trials of the soul. Together, they stood against the tide of darkness, their hearts ablaze with the light of hope and the promise of a brighter tomorrow. In the final confrontation against Lady Genevieve's vengeful spirit, Emily faced her greatest challenge yet, a battle for the fate of the mansion and all who dwelled within its walls. With courage as her shield and love as her sword, she confronted the ghostly apparition head-on, defying the forces of darkness with every fiber of her being. And as the echoes of the past faded into the ether, Emily emerged victorious, her spirit unbroken and her resolve unwavering. With Lady Genevieve's curse lifted at last, the mansion stood bathed in the warm glow of dawn, its halls cleansed of the shadows that had long plagued its inhabitants. As Emily bid farewell to the estate that had been her home, she knew that her journey was far from over. But with Edward and Charlotte by her side, she faced the future with renewed hope and a sense of purpose that burned brighter than any flame. For in the end, it was not the darkness that defined her, but the light that shone from within, a light that would guide her on her journey, illuminating the path to a future filled with endless possibility and boundless wonder. And so, as she set forth into the unknown, Emily embraced the adventure that lay ahead, ready to face whatever challenges awaited her with the same courage and determination that had carried her through the darkest of nights. As Emily stepped out into the world beyond the Pembroke mansion, she carried with her the memories of her harrowing ordeal and the lessons she had learned along the way. With each passing day, she found herself drawn deeper into the realm of the supernatural, her thirst for knowledge and adventure driving her ever forward. Her journey took her to distant lands and forgotten realms, where ancient secrets lay hidden beneath the sands of time. She encountered creatures of myth and legend, their presence a testament to the boundless mysteries of the universe. But amidst the wonders she beheld, Emily never forgot the darkness that had once threatened to consume her. The memory of Lady Genevieve's vengeful spirit lingered like a specter in the recesses of her mind, a constant reminder of the fragility of the human soul. Determined to make sense of her experiences, Emily sought out others who had walked the path before her, scholars and mystics, seers and sages, all of whom held pieces of the puzzle she so desperately sought to solve. Together, they delved into the annals of history, piecing together fragments of forgotten lore and forbidden knowledge in their quest for truth. They uncovered tales of ancient civilizations and lost civilizations, of gods and monsters, of heroes and villains whose deeds had shaped the course of time itself. But as they journeyed deeper into the labyrinth of the unknown, they soon discovered that some mysteries were never meant to be unraveled, and that the pursuit of knowledge came with a price. For lurking in the shadows, unseen and unheard, were forces beyond their comprehension, entities of unimaginable power and malevolence, whose very existence threatened to unravel the fabric of reality itself. Undeterred by the dangers that lay ahead, Emily and her companions pressed on, their resolve unshakable and their spirits undaunted. For they knew that the path they walked was one of destiny, and that only by confronting the darkness could they hope to find the light. And so, armed with courage and conviction, they journeyed forth into the unknown, their hearts filled with hope and their minds ablaze with the promise of adventure. For in the end, they knew that no matter what trials lay ahead, they would face them together, united in their quest for truth and bound by the bonds of friendship that had carried them through the darkest of nights. And as they ventured forth into the vast unknown, they knew that their journey was far from over, and that the greatest mystery still awaited them beyond the horizon, beckoning them ever onward into the heart of the unknown. As Emily and her companions delved deeper into the mysteries of the supernatural, they found themselves drawn into a web of intrigue and danger unlike anything they had ever known. Each step they took brought them closer to the heart of darkness, where ancient powers lay dormant, waiting to be unleashed upon the world. Their quest led them to the farthest reaches of the earth, to hidden temples and forgotten tombs where the secrets of the ancients lay buried beneath layers of dust and time. They encountered ancient guardians and spectral sentinels, their watchful eyes bearing witness to the passage of ages. But as they journeyed deeper into the unknown, they soon discovered that the greatest threats were not always the ones that lurked in the shadows. Betrayal and treachery walked hand in hand with courage and conviction, testing the limits of their resolve and pushing them to the brink of despair. Yet, even in the darkest of hours, Emily and her companions found strength in each other's company, their bonds forged in the crucible of adversity and tempered by the fires of adversity. Together, they faced the trials that lay ahead, their spirits unbroken and their hearts aflame with the light of hope. But as they drew closer to their goal, they soon realized that their journey was far from over. For the forces they sought to confront were older and more powerful than they could have ever imagined, their presence a testament to the enduring legacy of the supernatural. In their darkest hour, Emily and her companions faced their greatest challenge, yet a battle for the fate of the world itself. With the forces of darkness arrayed against them, they stood united in their defiance, their resolve unyielding and their spirits undaunted. And as the final confrontation unfolded, they unleashed the full extent of their power upon the forces of evil, their hearts burning bright with the fire of righteousness. In a blaze of glory, they vanquished their foes and emerged victorious, their triumph a beacon of hope in a world consumed by darkness. But even as they celebrated their victory, they knew that their journey was far from over. For the forces they had unleashed could not be contained so easily, their echoes reverberating across the ages and beyond. And so, with the dawn of a new day, Emily and her companions set forth once more into the unknown, their hearts filled with hope and their minds ablaze with the promise of adventure. For in the end, they knew that their journey was not just a quest for knowledge, but a testament to the enduring power of the human spirit. And as they ventured forth into the vast unknown, they did so with the knowledge that no matter what trials lay ahead, they would face them together, united in their quest for truth and bound by the bonds of friendship that had carried them through the darkest of nights.